Hi folks. In this video we're going to take a look at the gradebook within Moodle and making sure that it looks the way you want it to for both you and your students. I'm here in this demo course and I have already set up some assessment activities. I have a series of quizzes here. I have a major assignment here with a restriction on it so that students would need to have the most current academic integrity badge. And I also have a midterm set up. I'm not quite finished with setting up activities on the main page in Moodle though, because this major assignment is worth 20%, but I have another minor assignment. So I'm going to turn editing on. That's going to open up all these add an activity or resource. So I could click on add an activity and select assignment to add that minor assignment. I'm going to do something different though. I'm going to just go under the edit button and I'm going to duplicate the major assignment that I already had in place here. So it's just a copy of this one. I'm going to click on the pencil. This one's only going to be worth 10%. I'll hit the enter key, just change the name. Now, that's not going to change how much I actually set it to be worth. This one was set to 20, so right now this one's also set to 20. I'll click on it, click on the sprocket and edit settings. And I don't want it to be due on September 30th. This one is going to be due on the 25th of November. I'll just disable this, remind me to grade by. And under grade, I'm going to change it from being worth 20 to being worth 10. Now, by default, Moodle, when you set up an assignment, makes everything worth 100. But it's always a good idea when you're setting up your assignments to go down to grade and change the default 100 to what the assignment will actually be worth according to what you told students in your syllabus. So in this case, this minor assignment is only worth 10. And actually, I think I still have it labeled as major. So I'm going to change that name there. Minor assignment is worth 10%. I'll scroll all the way down, save and return to course. And oh, when I do the restrict access, that badge wasn't copied over. So I'll just reset that, save, and return to course. So they're both restricted so that you must have the academic integrity badge in order to submit them. The gradebook is automatically updated whenever you add an assessment activity to the main page. So when you click on add an activity or resource and you're adding things like a quiz or an assignment or interactive H5P activities, when you give those a grade value, they're automatically being updated in your gradebook. To take a look at that, I can just click on grades. For some of you, this might be hidden. You might not have the menu on the side, but it's just hidden under these three lines, this hamburger here. You click on that and it will open up the navigation on the left side of the screen. And if I click on grades, by default, it just shows me the students and then all of the assignments, and I can scroll sideways to see where they're all set up here. But this is not set up the way I want it. So I'm going to click on the Setup tab, and I can see that I have everything that I set up on the main page here in the gradebook. And by default, your course total is just going to total all of the things that are in the gradebook. Right now, my course is being graded out of 185. It's not what I want. So I need to do some work on this gradebook. The major assignment and the minor assignment, as I just mentioned, I changed the default grade from 100 to be exactly what it is that I said these were going to be within the syllabus. So these are fine. These look exactly the way I want them. The midterm is worth 30%, and that's been set at 30. I did that within the quiz settings, and if you watch the video on how to set up your quiz, you know how to do that. I've set up these smaller quizzes to be worth 25 points, but they're not going to be worth, each one of them is not going to be worth 25 points. All of these quizzes together will comprise 25% of the final grade. In order to make that happen, I'm going to want to create a category within the gradebook and place all of the quizzes within that category. So I'm going to go down here and click on Add Category. I will call it Quizzes. By default, the aggregation type Moodle's going to want to go with is natural. That means it's just going to add up all the stuff in the category, but that's not what I want. I want a simple weighted mean of grades. Simple weighted mean of grades is just telling Moodle that all of the things in the category just add up all of the points that they're worth, and then the grade that the student gets. So it's going to create a simple fraction, the number of points that the student earns divided by the total number of points available. And what I'm putting in this category is 5 quizzes, each worth 25%. So the value for this category, by default, again, Moodle wants to make it worth 100, but the quizzes are going to be worth 25%. They're going to contribute 25% towards the final grade. That's what I said in the syllabus, and so I had to make Moodle adhere to that. I have 5 quizzes. Each one of them is being graded out of 25. You don't have to have everything congruent in terms of the grade value, but in this particular example, it is. But that's going to give me 5 quizzes, each worth 25%. But what I want to do is drop the lowest quiz from the grade. So I'm just going to set this category so that I'm going to set it to exclude empty grades, because if a student misses a quiz, that's their lowest grade. That's the one that's going to get dropped. And I want to drop the lowest one, the lowest quiz. So there'll be 4 that will be included. And Moodle will calculate a grade out of 25. And when I go back, now the course is being graded out of 210 because my quiz category is sitting here in addition to all of the quizzes. In my gradebook, each one of these items has this arrow. When I hover over it, it indicates that I can use that to move things. It's a little bit different than when you move things on the main page of your course. You actually click on that move button. This new page loads, and now I can select one of these boxes to put quiz 1 in. And I can see under quiz 1, it's in brackets after the name, indicating this is the one I'm currently moving. So I'm going to go down to my category, and you can see how all of these boxes, I would just be placing this in a different spot where students see it in the gradebook. But with this box here under quizzes, it's indented a little bit. And that means that if I put it here, it's going to be inside of this category. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm back down to 185. I've reduced this total grade by 25 because I put this quiz inside of this category. I'm going to do the same for all of the other quizzes. You have to do them one at a time. So now I have all of my quizzes, all 5 quizzes in the category. The category is going to give me a total simple weighted mean of grades and drop the lowest value, including the empty grades. It's going to give me a grade out of 25, and it's going to report that to students as well. But my course is only out of 85, and that's because I haven't included the participation grade. So students who actively come to class, participate in discussions and other activities that happen inside the classroom will get a grade out of 15%. But I don't want that to be something that, in this particular case, the students have to submit. I'm just going to give them a grade out of 15. So in the grade book, I'm going to want to create a grade item, not a category this time, just a grade item. So I'll click on a grade item. Change the default value of 100 to 15 and save changes. Now my course totals 100. I have a participation grade that I'm going to add into Moodle. At the end of the course, out of 15, I have my quizzes and I have the midterms. So it just so happens that my weights are correct here for what I'm doing. But for the most part, I'm going to recommend that you just ignore the weights. Don't worry if they're not exactly what you think they should be. They only come into play if you put this check in front of them, which I'm not doing. I've just made things worth what they're worth. Everything's going to add up to 100, and my grading at the end of the course is going to be very easy. I do highly recommend keeping your own gradebook in an Excel spreadsheet, but the way that I set up this gradebook, Moodle is going to produce a grade out of 100, and all of this aligns directly with what I've communicated to students at the beginning of the term in the course syllabus. So this is how you can set up your gradebook to produce a grade out of 100 for you and for your students. So when I navigate away from the gradebook setup and back to the default view, I want to save my changes. When I go back to my view, I can see I have the student here, just the one student. And if I scroll sideways, I can see all of those grade items. And this is how the student is going to view their grades. That participation grade is something that I'm going to put directly in to Moodle. So I have a couple of different options with that. I could click on the pencil and that will bring up the students and I can enter the grade, give some feedback for that grade item that I've added. That's the easiest way to do that. And then when you're done, click save. So I could give this student 13. And a save, and then that grade is there. And if I go back to the grader report, I have all of the grades, and the course total is reflecting that I've added the participation grade. So when you set it up this way, as the student moves through the course, they're going to see their grade getting closer and closer to the full 100 points that the course is worth.